In trading, you're also gonna take losses, and today we took a small loss on Ethereum because you had your Convert Model 1, which had an aggressive push up and made a very nice low there and a very nice low there, which made the return to zone a bit less nice, but you still had those lows stacking up on each other, which were there to grab. You came into extreme liquidity there. I don't want to go over it too much, but we had our tap there and we just broke structure. So it was also in the volume profile. We broke structure right there, and that is where I put my short. Boom, stop above that high and target the range low. And on the bars pattern, on the high time frame, was a very nice bars pattern as well. Happy with the trade, happy that I took it. I didn't take it full risk because it had no confluence with USDT, and you know, if you watch my videos, I always have a confluence with USDT. In trading, you're gonna take L's, and that's totally fine as part of the game. Let's go over the trade of today. On my X, I was saying link watching heavy, and this was a very nice range, and you can see those stops. You can see the 1, you can see the 2, you can see the 3, you can see the 4, you can see all those highs stacking up on each other, which are there to take for the market makers, all liquidity. So let's go back in time a bit and trade this range as a real trade. Draw your range from low to high because you made a lower high there. So you draw your range from low to high. Because you're in a downtrend, you make a lower high, and you had your first deviation here. So this is going to be your tap 2, and this is going to be your tap 1, and now you're looking for a tap 3 POI. And what is going to be your tap 3 POI? And you already see, by the way, those highs stacking up on each other. This is all liquidity to grab for the New York market makers. But you see this is forming a nice return to zone too. So first push down before going up. Boom, put it on your chart. And is there any demand below it, which is right below that extreme liquidity? So we're gonna put that on our chart as well. And that is always a nice thing to have extreme demand below your extreme liquidity level. Let's just play it. Let's see what happens if we go to that extreme liquidity or that demand. And boom, we tap into that extreme liquidity and demand. So did we break structure there? Let's have a look. See if it was in the volume profile, all right? Because it was a very aggressive move. You went down very aggressive, and it was not in the volume profile, which is not the best thing because you went down very aggressive. But an aggressive move, you have to see that as how can this be manipulation? And I didn't take this trade, for the record. Luckily, a lot of people did take the trade, but it was a very hard trade to enter because you went up there and you didn't really break any structure. You had your demand here, which you came in for a retest, and then you can trade your level 2 structure. So when you go up there, you wick some low time frame Baker structures because you had your 1 time frame Baker structure right there. You're a degen if you entered there, GG. But let's watch what happens after the retest, because after the retest everything can happen, and even this was a very aggressive move. So your structure break would be here. Boom, put it on the chart. For the record, you could already have entered right there. I didn't enter because, in my opinion, the move down was a bit aggressive, but the pre-planning worked, and you can see that after a while. But let's watch what happens here, because we are playing it and we are breaking structure eventually. There's your structure break. Boom. Your entry would have been here, and your tap doesn't need to go below the Wyckoff low because the Wyckoff low is right there. You already had that retest, so price has no reason to go below this point. So you can put your stop loss below that point and target the range high. Let's see if the break of structure was in the volume profile right now, because that changes things a little bit. Today I was also a bit off the chart, so that was the reason why I wasn't that focused on trading. But let's see, it wasn't in the volume profile. These highs are pretty nice because you didn't form a Wyckoff right here, because if this high was higher than this high, you would create supply, which made the return to zone less good. But that didn't happen, and you have an amazing return to zone here, which is why you had such an aggressive move up, which we will see in a couple seconds. Because if we play it, you can see this aggressive move up, and there is your target hit. Boom, and that's an amazing 5.8% play. Guys, this is an amazing trade after all. If I had more time today to look at this trade, I would have taken it probably. But this was a bit harder to trade, I have to say, because the structure break wasn't that obvious. If we had a nice pullback right there, went lower, and then broke structure there, that would have been so much easier, because then you could have just broke structure after your Wyckoff tap and then move the stop loss to the retest. But you didn't have any structure in this move down on your way to your tap 3, because this was your tap 3. You didn't have any structure down, so that was a bit harder to trade, and this was a bit more advanced to enter on. But after all, the pre-planning was amazing and the plan worked. That's basically it. So that's by far the most important to me, that I see that the model works. Definitely catch another trade like this soon, and see you tomorrow, guys. Ciao ciao.